Hey, this is Tyler 4K Coleman, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do a localization on Topcon Pocket 3D. Today I got two Hyper VRs and an FC6400. I got my base set up on my base post, which is going to be set up on an unknown point, add point to project. Then my rover is going to be up on my rover rod, fully extended. And I got my FC6400 here with Pocket 3D loaded up onto it. I got my base and rover, they're both connected. And I got my job loaded up onto it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go over to our first control point and we're going to measure it, and we're also going to measure 3 control points. This is just for example. I would recommend measuring 4 to 5 control points maximum. And also when you are measuring your control points in, as you can see on the screen right here, I have grav 1, grav 2, grav 3, then over here I have 152nd, noon, east side new. I'm just going to be measuring 3, but you're going to want to make sure you have 4 to 5. You can get away with 3. You're just going to have to do measurements, which is, or more measurements on 3 than you would have to do 4 or 5. But one thing we're going to check here is if you tap survey, measure points and options and control point, this is actually where you're going to see your duration seconds. However, this is how long you're going to be measuring each control point for. I'm going to be using doing it for 10 seconds because this is for example. And if you're actually out on a job and everything and you're doing a full out localization and you're measuring 4 to 5, I would recommend doing 60 seconds. If you're doing 3 control points, I'd recommend doing 90 seconds just so it can measure them in longer, so it can be a little bit more accurate. I wouldn't really go farther than 60 to 90 just because there's not really a point to do that. Some people do it for like 5 minutes, but it's like how much more accurate do you want to get? 60 to 90, that's what we've always used, and it's always been the most accurate, and we've never had issues doing that, so that's just what I recommend. I'm just going to tap OK right here. Then yeah, we can start doing the localization here. So I'm going to first put up my bipod right here. Then I'm going to walk over to my first control point and I'll see you there. Okay, so right now I'm at my first control point. As you can see, we have a control point with a little divot in it right here. Yours could be a stake or it could be rebar, it could be something else, but we just have a little puck here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure my rover rod tip gets in that divot. There we go. Then I'm going to take my legs, extend them. Then I'm going to step them in as well, just so they're solidly in there. It's not going to fall over or anything. Then now my level bubble, I'm going to get this all perfectly level out. You want to make sure you're perfectly level over the control point before you measure it. Okay. So now I got my bubble right in the center of that black bubble. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to start measuring my first control point. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is tap data right here, go to control points, and as you can see, I'm over grav 1 right now. There's a little X right here. Yours isn't really going to be doing that when you're doing your first localization. But so grav 1 right here, I know that it's up in the top left right here, so I'm going to click data. I know what control point I'm walking over to, and also there's probably going to be some sort of stake or something like that that's going to tell you what control point it is, or yeah, it's going to have the name or something like that. So I'm just going to hit data, control point, tap edit, go to GPS, not local, use horizontal, use vertical, make sure you check mark those. Then I'm going to tap measure. Now it's going to measure this for around 10 seconds here. And it's basically just measuring in this control point, and we're just going to be doing 2 other control points. So now it's done measuring, and I'm just going to tap OK right here. Oh, before I do that, you can also put a description if you want. I like to put a control description for all my control points. I'm just going to tap OK. Then as you can see now, that control point is green. So that means that my first point is it measured in successfully. If it doesn't, it's actually going to turn red. So I'm going to put my legs up right here, and I'm going to go set up and level up at my next control point. I'll see you there. Okay, so as you can see here, I got my rover rod set up on my next control point. It's in the little divot on my puck, and my rover rod is all leveled out right here. So now we're gonna measure our second control point here. So I'm gonna make sure I highlight my second control point that I'm on, press edit. Then I'm gonna go to GPS, use horizontal, use vertical, tap measure. It's gonna measure it for another 10 seconds here. Then this is basically what you're gonna be doing for all your control points here. So it got done measuring. I'm gonna tap OK. Now it's gonna be green. So that means that this point has successfully measured. So if it does turn red, what it could mean is either your control point got moved, or it's basically gonna mean that it's not in the right spot, or you're measuring the wrong control point. That's one way it can turn red, or a couple ways it can turn red. But if you're on the right control point and it hasn't got moved or anything, then it's gonna be just fine. But we're gonna go over to grab 3, which is gonna be our last control point, and I'll see you there. Okay, so right now I got my rover rod on my last control point. It's all leveled out, legs are stepped in, and I'm actually gonna finish the last measurement here. If you do have 4 or 5, keep going, keep doing what I'm doing right now, and just keep going with your measurements and go measure them the same way we have been measuring them. So I'm just gonna tap edit right here, go to GPS, use horizontal, use vertical, and I'm tap measure right here. So now it's just gonna measure it for another 10 seconds. Then we should be good and localized and ready to go after this. So you got the measurement done. I'm gonna tap OK. So all of them are green, so we're ready to go here. I'm gonna tap OK. And as you can see our guy right here. It's a little white plus right here. And if I move my legs up right here and start walking around, it's gonna tell me exactly where I'm at on the job. And if you want to double check and check elevation and stuff, you can stake out stuff, but that will be a different video. But yeah, that's how you do a localization on Topcon Pocket 3D. Thank you for watching.